Gökberk Demirci's way of thinking is like still water, calm on the surface, but with hidden depth that few can truly measure. For him, thinking isn't simply processing, it's feeling deeply, understanding quietly, and acting deliberately. His mindset wasn't formed overnight. It's the result of years of observation, solitude, and struggle. Growing up, Gökberk learned early that life rewards those who listen before they speak. He developed a habit of pausing, of watching people, reading their emotions, and understanding the unspoken stories behind their words. That habit, over time, became one of his greatest strengths as an actor and as a person. To understand his way of thinking is to understand a man who values silence more than noise, meaning more than popularity, and authenticity more than approval. That simple line defines his entire mental approach. Think with heart, not just with mind. Unlike many in the fast-paced entertainment world, Gökberk's thinking process isn't driven by urgency. He values patience. When faced with challenges, he doesn't rush for solutions. He lets the storm pass, observing it from within before taking action. To him, every difficulty is an opportunity to understand himself better. He believes in learning from everything, even from silence, even from pain. There's a quiet spirituality in his mindset, not necessarily tied to religion, but to balance. He sees life as an ongoing dialogue between the external and the internal. The world can be loud and confusing, but the real clarity, the real truth, lies within. That's why solitude doesn't frighten him. It recharges him. When others seek constant noise or distraction, he retreats to quiet, to think, to write, to breathe. In that stillness, his thoughts find order. His thinking isn't just introspective. It's deeply empathetic. Gökberk doesn't observe people as objects of curiosity. He tries to feel what they feel. Whether he's talking to a friend, a fan, or a stranger, he listens in a way that makes others feel seen. He has this rare ability to stand in someone else's shoes, to imagine their emotions as his own. That empathy gives his performances depth, because when he plays a role, he doesn't pretend to be the character. He becomes them. At the heart of his way of thinking lies gratitude. He doesn't take his success for granted, nor the people who help him along the way. He often reflects on where he came from, and that keeps him grounded. He believes that remembering your roots is the key to staying humble in a world that constantly tries to pull you away from them. He also has a remarkable ability to detach from negativity. He understands that not every opinion deserves attention, not every battle needs to be fought, and not every reaction requires response. Instead of wasting energy on anger, he channels it into creativity. Gökberk's way of thinking values simplicity, not because life is simple, but because he believes simplicity brings clarity. He avoids overcomplicating things. Whether it's making a decision, solving a problem, or planning a role, he follows a minimalist philosophy. Do what feels true. This truth-based approach helps him stay authentic, even in moments of doubt. He sees beauty in ordinary moments, a sunset after a long day, the sound of rain against a window, a quiet walk with someone you love. In his mind, life isn't about chasing constant excitement. It's about recognizing meaning in the small, fleeting things most people overlook. That appreciation of simplicity defines not just his personality, but also his art. Another pillar of his mindset is discipline, not just physical, but mental. For him, discipline is freedom. It's the structure that allows creativity to flourish. He treats his mind the way an athlete treats his body, training it daily through focus, patience, and reflection. He reads often, writes when inspired, and surrounds himself with people who add peace, not chaos, to his life. He also believes in perspective, that truth changes depending on where you stand. This awareness makes him slow to judge. He often says that people are shaped by circumstances, and that understanding someone's background can change how you see their choices. This compassionate perspective keeps him grounded and kind, even when others might respond with frustration. Gökberk is also a deep believer in growth. He never sees himself as finished or complete. To him, every day brings a chance to learn something new about the world, about others, or about himself. Whether it's through reading, travel, or simple conversation, he sees knowledge as a lifelong pursuit. But he doesn't seek knowledge to appear wise. He seeks to understand life more deeply. Failure, to him, isn't the opposite of success. It's part of it. He doesn't fear making mistakes, because he believes mistakes reveal the truth about who we are. When something doesn't go as planned, he looks inward, not outward. What can I learn from this? Is a question he always asks himself. That kind of self-awareness is rare. Most people react to problems with frustration. Gökberk responds with reflection. This is one of the reasons he radiates calmness. Even in chaos, he's thinking, processing, and finding meaning in the moment. His optimism isn't naive. It's chosen. He believes in kindness not because the world is always kind, but because someone has to be the one who starts the cycle. He carries the same mindset into his work. When preparing for a role, he doesn't just memorize lines. He explores the psychology behind every word. He wants to know what the character believes, what shaped them, what broke them. He thinks in layers: emotional, moral, spiritual. It's what makes his performances so authentic. He doesn't just play a role, he understands it. In conversations, Gökberk's thinking shines through in his questions. He doesn't ask surface-level things. He asks why. Why do people act the way they do? Why does the world work this way? Why do emotions shape us so powerfully? That curiosity drives him, not just as an artist, but as a human being seeking meaning. He often says that thinking too much can be both a gift and a burden, because deep thought opens doors that not everyone wants to walk through. But he embraces it, because he believes that real understanding comes from discomfort. The more deeply you think, the more you see, and not all of it is beautiful. Yet, in that imperfection, he finds purpose. When life gets heavy, his way of thinking constantly seeks harmony between opposites. This balance allows him to stay centered even when fame, emotion, or expectation try to pull him off course. Above all, Gökberk's thinking is rooted in kindness. He genuinely believes that how we treat others defines our worth more than what we achieve. He lives with quiet integrity, doing the right thing, even when no one is watching. And that's what makes his mindset truly remarkable. It isn't built on grand philosophies or distant ideals. It's built on everyday choices: to listen instead of shout, to help instead of ignore, to reflect instead of react. In a world that often celebrates noise, Gökberk Demirci thinks in silence. And somehow, that silence speaks louder than words. His mind is not a battlefield, but a garden, carefully tended, shaped by patience, and watered with gratitude. Every thought he cultivates grows from the same roots: humility, discipline, empathy, and love for life. That's Gökberk's way of thinking. Not to dominate the world, but to understand it. Not to outshine others, but to illuminate what's real.